Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah and I like to ramble on about books. Today's video we are going to be picking my July TBR, which is a little bit crazy to think that we're going into July. I feel like I say this every month that it's nuts that we're already in the next month, but it just seems like time's flying by. I just had this past week off of work and it's pretty much over already, which is nuts, but we were doing a ton of house projects, so that's probably why it went by so fast. But anyway, I was just planning on, again, using my TBR jar to do this month's picks. I think I'm gonna pick about 5 books this month. Let's just jump right in with my TBR prompts. Shook it up before I took the lid off, but all right. So we have prompt number 1. Oh my god, I can't get it open. I'll let you guys see it first. We have a book with a nature word in the title. All right, this is one of my more interesting newer ones, so give me a minute. I'm gonna pull some stuff, but I'm already seeing one that's pretty hopeful. All right, so I went through just the top 2 shelves of my TBR cart and I found 8 books that match this prompt, but I'm pretty sure I already know which one I'm gonna pick. But anyways, I'll go through all of them. First up, we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So serpent is snake, which is found in nature. This is by Carissa Broadbent. This is the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia duet, but it's also part of like an overarching series, but they're all made up of like duets. So there's currently 3 books out in total. There's this duet's completed and then the start of another duet. I haven't read any of these books. I am very interested. It's like a vampire kind of romance, and again, games and trials, which is our favorite theme in most fantasy books, but I'm not quite ready for this one yet, but it is absolutely on my radar. We have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. So daisies are flowers, which are in nature. This is another mystery thriller. I love Alice. Rock, paper, scissors blew my mind, so I just need to read all of her books now, but unfortunately that one's not this pick. I also have What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. This is another, this one I feel like leans more horror, but kind of crosses the line with mystery thriller. If you hear weird noises, it's because I just dug out all the toys from under this couch, so my cats are losing their minds. I'm gonna try my best to not record when they're going nuts, but they're gonna be incessant, just FYI. Anyway, we have Monarch by Sophie Lark. This is the sequel to Grimstone, which is just like a dark romance, which I did really enjoy. I flew through that book, but again, not quite there yet. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Creatures, nature thing. This seems like a good pick for July. Maybe this will fit another prompt, but there's another book you'll see pretty soon that is gonna be it. I know I keep alluding to it. It's really annoying. We have Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. River obviously is our main word here. This is dark romance by her. I've read pretty much all of her other books except for this one, and then it was traditionally published and I found it at Target. So gonna get to this eventually for sure because I love her. 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina Bastarrica, and I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. This is just a collection of short stories. Agustina is a horror novelist. She wrote Tender as the Flesh, which was amazing. Like, if you like horror, you should read that book. That was phenomenal. I read that in like 2 days. It was so good and it was so disturbing. But anyway, our main contender for this prompt is going to be Clown in a Cornfield. I just recently picked this up from Barnes & Noble just like a couple weeks ago, and I've been wanting to read this book. This is a YA horror, and it actually just got adapted into a movie for the summer, so I'm super excited to read this. There's a sequel to this too, so I've heard very good things about it, and if you know anything about me, is I love horror, Halloween, all that kind of stuff. So July is summerween. So I gotta have some spooky horror picks for this month, absolutely. And this is gonna be one of them, and I'm so happy about that. All right, moving on to pick number 2. Way down in there. Oh, actually this one just hooked my finger, so I'm gonna go with that one. We have, I'll let you guys see it first. A hardcover book. Okay, that one's pretty easy, so be right back with all my picks. All right, so for this one, In the last run I pulled, there were 3 hardbacks, so obviously those would be included in this. And then I pretty much just kept pulling until I found the one, so I didn't pull all the hardcovers off or we'd be here forever, but I'll just go through the ones I was considering. So we have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, which I have in hardback, but again, obviously that's not gonna be her pick, but she mastered mystery and thriller books. We have Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue, which is a dark romance with like a demon. I got these special edition hardcovers from Faded Romance, and I still need to read these, but that one was a very strong contender, I'll let you know, because you know, Demon, Summerween, sounds great. We have A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood, which I really enjoyed that, and this is, I'm pretty sure it's a duet, so I think this is the conclusion to that. So I've got the beautiful foiled edges. We have my most recent book of the month pick, Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This was a pretty strong contender because I'm trying to be good about actually reading my book of the month books relatively soon, or not soon, but relatively quickly when I get them, and I'm not doing the best at that. Also, another contender that was pretty high, Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Again, another book of the month book, but my reasoning why I haven't picked these ones is actually a pretty good one, because our pick this month is going to be Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. And the main reason, this is a book of the month book, but it's not mine. It is my coworker's that she lent to me, and she's like, you need to read this. She's like, but take your time. I don't need it back right away. I've had this for months. So I think it's finally time that I read this and give it back to her. This is yet another mystery thriller. I particularly like to remain pretty blind because sometimes I find on these mystery thriller books, a lot is given away in the little blurb. So I just need to hear someone give me the bare bones premise of it, or just that, hey, this was really good, you should read it, and I'm sold. So that's all I'm gonna say about this one, and hopefully nothing spoiled for me. All right, we're gonna do the third prompt for the month of July. It's about to get loud because my cat found the springs again, so I apologize. All right. Oh my god, there, I think it's focusing. So this one is Bestie Picks My Read. So I'm gonna have to text my best friend and have her pick a book for me. All right, I sent her a text. Obviously I have to wait for her to reply. So let's just go ahead to my fourth pick and then we'll see what she ends up saying. All right, so pick number 4, we have a book with a color in the title. So I'll grab our prospects and we'll see what we got. All right, so I went through my entire cart and I only have 4 books that match this prompt. So just diving right in, we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a very popular sci-fi book, but sci-fi is not really a genre I typically read. So kind of scares me. I'm not gonna pick this one for this month, but I do want to read it and I want to try it to see if sci-fi is more my thing than I think, if that makes any sense. But anyway, we also have Green Light by Jessie Hall. This is a dark romance. She's thick. This is the probably Smut Book Club edition. I do want to read this at some point. I'm just not really in the mood. I'm a mood reader, so I need, especially with how thick this is too. Even dark romances, usually they have like a more intriguing plot, you know, usually someone's gonna die. It's also pouring right now. Either someone's gonna die, someone's kidnapped, something, like the stakes are way higher, so it's usually more interesting, but it's still at the end of the day a romance, and sometimes I feel like when they're this long, they can get dragged out if the plot's not really plotting. So anyway, I'm not gonna pick that one this month. This one I feel like is a little bit of a stretch, but we have A Dawn of Onyx. Onyx is a shade of black, so was my reasoning there. This is by Kate Golden. There's a name for this trilogy, and I can't remember what it is, but it's a fantasy. There's like dragons and stuff. This again is another special edition from Probably Smut. Again, I do want to read this, but I'm just not in the mood this month. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to be good and pick Silver Elite by Danny Francis, one of my Book of the Month Club books, so I can stay on top of these if I'm going to continue to get them. This one, I don't know if I talked about what this one's about, but it's kind of dystopian era. I've heard it compared a lot to Divergent. I think we're following a girl who she has powers, but for some reason that's bad in this world, and she ends up in like this training camp, and there's like a rebel uprising and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, classic dystopian. I'm just really happy dystopian fiction's coming back. This was like, my childhood was like Hunger Games and Divergent and all that kind of stuff were huge when I was in like middle school, high school time. So I'm kind of glad to see that it's coming back again. I missed it a little bit. But anyway, that's gonna be book number 3. My best friend did get back to me. So she picked Final Girls by Riley Sager because she's a Riley Sager stan. And again, I've had this book on my cart for a while. I really love Riley Sager as well. I think it was the only one left, is like my favorite book by far by him. So I'm excited to dive into this. I know she loved this book too, so super excited for that one. And I think I'll go ahead and pick one more. The only like really thick book on this TBR so far is Silver Elite, so we'll pick a 5th one, so if I fly through these books I'll have something else to read. If I'm good and I stick to my TBR. All right, 5th prompt is a book with dragons in it. Okay, all right, give me a minute. This is probably like the hardest prompt I've had. And it's not even because I have a ton of choices. It's just because we have a Dawn of Onyx, which I just said has dragons in it, that I'm not really in the mood for. And the only other option, at least that I'm aware of, that has dragons in it is Aragon, which if you watch any of my other videos talking about my TBR cart, I've had this book since, oh my god, I can't even tell you, since like middle school, high school. My mom read the series and then gave it to me, and I just have never picked it up. So I really feel like I should read this book, but I've just put it off for so long. That's just kind of my habit at this point, is to just keep putting it off. But I'm down. This is more, I'm pretty sure it's from Probably Smut. So it's got to be more romantic-y vibes, where this one's more just like a fantasy. I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this. I haven't really pulled any true fantasies. Silver Elite is kind of dystopian fantasy, I guess, in a way. My cat's going nuts and I'm so sorry. I feel like I should. I feel like this has waited long enough. I'm gonna put it on my TBR for the month. In reality, my TBR for the month is more just hopefuls. I'm hoping to get to these books. So I make no promises. I am a mood reader, so if I am not feeling in the mood to read this, I might not get to it. But I'm going to try. I'm going to make an effort to finally read this series. All right, so to recap everything that is going to be on my July TBR, we have Clown in a Cornfield by Adam, I think it's Cesar, I'm not sure. Perfect summerween pick. We have Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. Good mystery thriller, at least I've heard it's good. We have Silver Elite by Danny Francis, dystopian, fiction, a little bit of fantasy, because some people have got powers. Final Girls by Riley Sager, mystery thriller. Riley Sager usually does it really well. And then Aragon by Christopher Paolini, fantasy pick for the month. Like I said, this is more a hopefuls list. Wow, I really butchered that. Hopefuls list. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to get these all read. It is Summerween, and I only do have one true horror pick. I might veer off from this, who knows? Well, we'll see, we'll see. But anyway, that's everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on any of these books that I pulled for the month of July. Obviously, no spoilers. Let me know if there's any that you're dying to see me read, because if you guys keep saying, yes, you need to read Aragon, then I'm more likely to. Power of influence is massive. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.